An unidentified individual donated over $1 million in cryptocurrency to Alex Jones. So Alex Jones has got a fat crypto wallet, and the question is, who made the donation? And what's the reality of his financial situation here? The person donated 26 Bitcoins to Jones, which traded at around $40,000 a piece at the time of the transaction. During an investigation of Jones's known crypto wallets, Hate Watch found that he demonstrated an increased appetite for cryptocurrency starting in April of 2021. Around the same time, that industry boomed, and his standing in the Sandy Hook defamation lawsuit took a significant blow. So he recently filed for bankruptcy, not personally, but InfoWars and all of the affiliated businesses filed for bankruptcy. And it's a way that rich people tend to protect their assets if they're expecting a significant and costly ruling through the courts. And in this case, he was taken to court by the family members who had lost their children in the Sandy Hook massacre. Alex Jones spewed all sorts of lies in regard to that shooting being a false flag operation. As a result, the family members who had lost their children were being harassed and threatened and targeted by members of Alex Jones's audience. And so he lost that defamation suit. It's unclear how much he's going to have to pay out, what the amount is going to be by this judge. But nonetheless, he filed for bankruptcy. Now we're learning more and more about how much is being donated to him through cryptocurrency to his crypto wallets. And just to give you some more details on that, Jones received the money at 4:35 a.m. coordinated universal time, according to the blockchain timestamp, which would be just before midnight in Texas, where the InfoWars host lives. Jones listed 3 different Bitcoin addresses on his website, InfoWars, starting in April of 2021. The address the anonymous donor sent the Bitcoin to is the 3rd one, opened on March 30th of 2022. Jones then added a 4th wallet to his website on April 28th. Donors had sent that address Bitcoin across 42 transactions worth a total of about $37,000 at the time of transfer, before the anonymous mega donor filled it with 26 Bitcoin. And by the way, homeboy made hundreds of millions of dollars in a short period of time by slanging ridiculous supplements that somehow his audience thinks they should buy. So like the idea that he even needs to take donations is really mind-blowing. The idea that people who admire him would shell out money when he doesn't really need it is ridiculous. But Cenk, you also have a take in regard to why he filed for bankruptcy and what is really going on in terms of protecting his assets.
Yeah, we're gonna find out if there's any rule of law in America, and I'm very much afraid of the answer. So look, he's obviously hiding his assets because he's losing these lawsuits. There's no question about it. He moved all the money out of his companies and now is saying, oh, golly gee, they're bankrupt. Is the court gonna chase down where he moved the money? Is the court gonna chase down this $1 million in Bitcoin? I don't know. I mean, our courts have also been incredibly weak. And this doesn't apply to Republicans as much as it applies to rich people. There's, when it comes to politics, Democrats are scared of their own shadow and barely even criticize Republicans and never hold them accountable. But in the judiciary, it's just a little bit different. It's that it's rich people that they never hold accountable. Oh, you want to hide your assets? Oh, golly gee, we just couldn't find them, right? And so this is a perfect case for the courts to do accountability. Will they? Well, in a manner of speaking, the jury's out. So, by the way, the sucker who gave him $1 million, the guy already has all the money. He doesn't need it. He moved $165 million, as far as we can tell, from just his merchandising out of those companies. So you just gave him his 166 million. And when you give donations to Alex Jones, it's not like he's promising you that he's gonna deliver anything with it for you guys. He's just gonna say, I'm gonna keep it. But that's the thing with right wingers. a fool and his money are easily parted. And so they're like, oh, you're not even gonna do anything for me. Oh, sure, here's $1 million. Oh, you're gonna hide it from the law? I love it. Let's use Bitcoin and hide it together. Here, take my money. And then, of course, finally, Alex Jones. Oh, these NFTs, these Bitcoins, they're the devil's work, Satan. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm getting it. Oh, they're wonderful. They're awesome. It's Satan's work not to take the Bitcoins and the NFTs and the blah, 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 blah. How does anybody believe him? Jesus, man. I despair of humanity.
Now, Jones has transferred a total of $1.3 million in cryptocurrency out of his wallets, his crypto wallets, just to give you a sense of how much money has been donated to him through cryptocurrency. And look, Cenk, I don't know about you, I'm just really happy that this system exists because this is democracy. Cryptocurrency has really democratized things. And thanks to cryptocurrency, we now have a man who might be able to evade having to pay the consequences for the pain and suffering he caused to parents whose children were brutally gunned down in a mass shooting. Awesome. I can feel the democracy now. It just feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And no, but there's one important thing there. Again, right-wing hypocrisy here. They love probably that Alex Jones got to keep this money and didn't give it to the family members that he terrorized. By the way, that donor, what a class act that guy is. He's like, oh, you terrorized the parents of dead children? Here's $1 million. That's the right-wing mind for you, right? But if you were to say, hey, cryptocurrency allowed Hunter Biden to keep $1.3 million and he transferred it out of his account right away, and there's no regulation, there's nothing you can do about it, they'd be like, how dare he? Hunter Biden is the worst. That's an adult cryptocurrency. It's leading to corruption. We can't have this happen. They do it for Alex Jones. They're like, yay. Republicans couldn't spot hypocrisy on a map. I mean, they're just.
No, they know they're hypocrites. They love it. They're shameless. And I think that's the big difference between the right wing and the fabulously wealthy in this country. It's the shamelessness, right? Like just zero F's given about how shameless they are. They don't care about being called hypocrites. They're like, yeah, we're hypocrites. I mean, I have to mention, it happens on the highest levels of our government as well, with people like Mitch McConnell, blocking the confirmation process for Obama's Supreme Court nominee, Merrick Garland, and noting that he's doing it because there's a year left until the presidential election, but then there's only like a tiny amount of time until the 2020 elections. And of course, he immediately rushed the confirmation of now Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Of course, they're hypocrites, but they don't care. They're shameless. But the thing that I'm actually envious of, and I wish we had a little bit of this on the left, is they understand power. That's it. That's all they see. That's all they understand, power. Power takes priority over being called names like hypocrite. So they don't care. They don't care if you call them hypocrites. They don't care if you call them shameless, because at the end of the day, everything that they do is about accumulating power, evading any type of consequence or responsibility for their actions. They want to win. And I'm a little envious of that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair to the Democrats, Anna, they do that if they're in a primary against progressives.
Exactly. Yep.
Then all of a sudden they're obsessed with power. They'll do any trick. They'll be hypocritical. Oh, we never endorse against an incumbent. Oh, it's Ed Markey in a primary. We're going to endorse against an incumbent, right? And I can name you 1,000 hypocrisies that they did just for power if they're running against progressives. So what does that show you? The progressives are the ones that actually have the actual democratic policies, and like $15 minimum wage, with Medicare for all, child tax credit, paid family leave, student debt relief. Those are all progressive ideas. They're all economic populist ideas that the country loves. The Democratic Party currently, they don't view their job as getting those policies passed. They view their job as killing those policies on behalf of corporate donors while pretending to be in favor of them. So they kind of do use power ruthlessly. They just use it against their own. And it's good cop, bad cop. We're caught in the middle. And for all those right wingers, like, oh yeah, but then you would like it if Hunter Biden stole the money through Bitcoin.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, right.
I would want to regulate against Hunter Biden the same exact way that I would want to regulate against Alex Jones. So for them, they can't understand in their minds, and this includes corporate Democrats as well as Republicans, the idea that someone would actually have principles. Yes, right. We have principles and we're proud of them.
Exactly. Instead of just cheering on a tribe, favoring one tribe over the next. If both tribes are deeply corrupt and problematic for the future of this country, they should both be called out, and we do so aggressively. The idea of wanting to protect Hunter Biden, like, I can't think of anything more laughable. I have no interest. I don't care about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, though, so far, based on the attacks that he's been dealing with from the right wing, is largely irrelevant. He's not in a position of power, so I don't really care what Hunter Biden is up to, whether it's with his addiction or his sex life or any of that. But the right wing's pretty obsessed with that, and that's all they focus on.
Like, well, we found one bad guy on the Democratic side, kind of. He's not really in politics, but we'll pretend he's the most important guy. But right wingers, what are you going to do with them? If you're the Democrats, nothing. You're just going to let them win.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.